Ladies and gentlemen, joining us today on the No Filter Show, we have a well-known individual, multifaceted person, nationwide known music producer and composer. He is a public speaker, disability advocate, and so much more. And we hope to learn more today on the show. I introduce to you all Mini Producer to the No Filter
All
Show.
right,
Hey, what's going on?
What's going on, my guy? What's popping?
That was an amazing intro, first of all. Wait a second.
Thank you, my guy. Thank you.
Run that back. No, just kidding.
Don't worry. I'll send you a sound bite. We'll get you a sound bite later. I got you. Put that in one of the beats.
Exactly. That's gonna be the intro.
Hey, how you been this week, bro?
Man, I've been good. Can't complain. I'm happy to be here, though. I really am. Thank you again for having me.
Most deaf, man. Well, firstly, before we continue on with this lovely adventure here, allow me to introduce you to my fellow compadres here, the lovely lady right above you there. That is the Blue Phoenix. And the guy
Thank you for coming.
And the guy with Chong's face, that's Taylor Made Rock,
What you do?
What's up?
And the creep in the dark over there, that's GMO.
man, I got bad internet connection. I got to do it the street way. You heard? But of course, I'm here, bro.
Hello, everybody. It's nice
Yes,
to meet all of
indeed.
you.
Now, for our audience who may be living under a rock or here and there, but just for the sake of argument, please tell us who Mini Producer is.
Hey, so, man, I mean, if that intro didn't say enough, I have to add to it. So, I'm a music producer, content creator. I've done content for companies like Coca-Cola, Snapchat, the Paralympics, and some other brands. So, I'm really a multifaceted individual. I like to have just a good time, which is why I don't like to box myself in, because like you can do music production, but when you do content creation, it just opens up a lot of other opportunities because you can work with, your favorite brands. Like I just did something with Amazon, so that was really cool. And so it's just, yeah, I mean, I love what I do, and I've been doing this for over a decade. I know I don't look like my older than wait, I'm 27, so but the mini producer comes from that I'm super tall, so I know y'all can tell, I'm about 6 foot on a good day, but 3'4" on a real day.
6'2",
Yeah,
on a good day.
6'2", a little give or take some inches off, but yeah, I just like to have a good time, and my content is really about that. Like, if you watch my videos, it's just me being myself. I don't follow any trends or anything like that. Just my content's whatever comes out of his brain, and people like it. So I'm just always grateful for that. And my goal is to impact people in a positive way and be a good representation for people with disabilities like myself.
Yeah. I was watching you the other day, man, with them cookies, bro. I want one of them gags on cookies.
The cookies did. I mean, I didn't even have. It wasn't even a sponsorship. This cookies.
Hey, bro, I know the fact. I've given a lot of free promo before.
Okay.
Some good ass cookies.
I was jealous as fuck. I was like, you know what? And cream cheese. Hey, look, I love me some goddamn cheesecake, bro.
Man.
I was mad as fuck,
I said,
bro.
I didn't even know that existed. And people thought it was some kind of ad. I said, we didn't get paid. I said it in the video. Like, I guess I'm just so hyped. Like, people can't. Yeah,
They might have to pay you for that next one, though.
Yeah, they'll have to write me a check on the next one.
Because I guarantee they got a few sales out of that joint.
Come
I
on
can
now.
guarantee it.
I saw them comments. They said, I got to go get me one. I said, hey. This isn't even my kind of content. I said, man,
They can at least
look.
hook you up with a mini producer cookie with your face on the front of
Hey,
it.
Stab this.
That's all I'm saying.
Hey, Stab this. Next time, hey, look, when they go, just tell them, just shout you out and say promo code mini producer and let the owner
Like,
start
for
thinking,
real,
yeah,
for
bro.
real.
Thanks, bro. I'm telling you.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, they were liking all the comments too. We were seeing like they were like some of our comments. I said, I see y'all. Now you know.
Look out for me now. I'm just saying.
Let me get a box, okay? that was not a cheap cookie. I said,
Yeah.
oh man, like.
Yo, but speaking of content creating, I do remember seeing a video where you kind of broke down when you initially stepped in front of the camera, because you always push your product as well as far as
Yeah.
your beats and all that stuff. But what was that deciding factor that made you get out of that comfort zone that said, you know what, I need to start showing my face so I can put a face to the art and all that stuff? What was that like?
So it was really one of my friends, Ryan, actually, when I was in college. And he was like, "You should start making videos with your face in it." So I want to say some inspirational like epiphany hit me, and I said, "Man, I should show the world my." But that didn't happen. Like I probably wouldn't have done it if it wasn't for that conversation. And partially. I believe it has to do with my personality, but again, like I don't look like the average person, to most people. So I think there was that balance of like, hey, if you get on camera, that could bring a lot of opportunities to you, right? So that was probably his thinking at that time because he was like, "This is the best time for you to get out online." And I was like, "Well, not why not?" So I just started making one video at a time, and that was weird because like when you're not showing your face at all, you're just like showing your beats because I always wanted my beats to like speak for themselves. And so I knew because of how people treated me in like society, like out, when I go out of my house, I said, I don't know how people are going to treat me online, because everybody has an opinion about something, you know what I mean? Right, wrong, indifferent, whatever. And they don't like, they dehumanize the person that's like behind the screen. And at that time, like I was not in a mental capacity to like not only be bullied in real life and be bullied online. I said, man, like that's a lot. But what kind of shifted that is just the amount of support that I did receive. Like, obviously, I deal with bullying to this day every time I put out a video, but it's been really great because like I've met a lot of people because of it. Like I didn't even realize how many people needed to see someone like me show up every single day, right? And so that was something that helped push me even more because I probably would have stopped. Like I probably would have done a few videos and I'm like, okay, that was cool, you know. And after just seeing the impact, that's what really pushed me to keep going, and that's really why I still make content because people really like tell me how much they needed like me to just show up. And so it's cool that I can show up for people who sometimes can't even show up for themselves. So
Bro,
that's really what
Definitely.
pushes me, honestly.
you make me want to be 3'4", bro, 3'6".
Let's get it.
I am a producer, bro, and I cannot mimic or do half the shit you do, bro. Like,
Hey.
what the fuck?
But
I
I
yeah,
need you
appreciate
in
it.
my life, bro. Like,
I'm here.
I
Like
let's
got you,
go,
bro.
man.
I got
But
you.
yeah, and I rock with that, man, because that's one of the things I'm an advocate for. I'm 100% anti-bullying. I
yeah,
because I had to face that my whole life as well. I'm an advocate for mental health. So, and I
yes.
also have another friend who is disabled as well.
Hmm.
Shouts out to my friend Rochelle. She has cerebral palsy.
Oh,
She
okay,
and
okay.
she's a wheelchair bound as well. So when I
Yeah,
see someone else such as yourself
yeah,
with the confidence that you show on
yeah.
camera,
Thank you.
speaking of your story is
Yeah,
very motivating to me, and I'm able,
yeah,
as an
yeah,
able person, I
yeah.
I pull inspiration from folks like you and
Thank
for
you.
folks like my friend Rochelle. Matter of fact, there she is right there. That's
How's it
Rochelle
going,
right there.
Rochelle? Hey, nice
That's
to meet you.
Yep, that's Rochelle right there. So I pull and I look at her as one of the strongest people I've ever met, and
Yeah,
that's how I view you. So
thank you.
do you have like any plans of further have any do you have like any other plans or ambitions in your advocacy for disabled folks?
Man, it's been a journey. I feel like to accept my disability, especially in adulthood, right? Because like when you're a kid, you're just a kid. Like kids are just mean to be mean. Like they don't even know what they're saying. Like I was a mean to someone, I'm sure. Like I probably had no business being mean. I just had a mouth. I don't know who I was talking to. Like I act like I was 12 feet tall. But when you get older, I think that's when it really hit me. Like, oh man, wow, I really got a disability. Like this is not like, oh yeah, this going go away, or whatever. So I feel like that people are seeing my journey in real life, right? Because my acceptance of my disability has been very like gradual, right? I mean, even the fact that I made content talking about disability is huge because I never talked about it. Like, it was just like, y'all see me, I'm disabled. Like, okay, like, I'm not going to talk about it. I'm going to just talk about beats. And then I realized like, I was doing a disservice, not only to myself, but really to my community, because people that are a lot of times people that are in the disability community, we don't even get to be that representation that maybe we
Right.
aspire to be. Right. So here I am in a position to have this platform where people respect what I say, who, where I built community. And so I had to come to a point where it's like, you got to really accept yourself and also speak light within yourself, so that you can help other people. Because like, I can't be like, oh man, I don't like myself, and yeah, blah blah blah. And I'm telling other people on the camera like, you can do it, because that used to be me, right? I used to feel like kind of a fraud because I'd make this like motivational content, but I'm not motivated. Like, I feel like I'm trying to motivate myself, and maybe someone will believe it. So I think that my confidence that you talked about now is because it's authentic, like it's real. Like, I am confident, and that was just a shift. And for me, my acceptance of my disability more so came, at least in my experience, from the relationship I'm in now, with my fiance, because we have the same disability. And that was like, hit me in the face, because my whole life, I don't want to say, I didn't say I wanted to be with someone disabled, but it wasn't like my MO. Like, if it happened, cool, but that wasn't my like, man, I want to get someone disabled like me. I was like, no, please. Like, I want someone to be able to reach the cabinets. And I don't know what I was thinking. Like, we couldn't figure that out. But I just had these ideas of like my limitations. And I feel like I projected that, right, onto a person that didn't even exist. Like, it wasn't even like I had a partner. I was just projecting what they weren't going to be able to do already because of how I felt about myself and how like others perceived me. So once we got into a relationship, that really shifted my thinking too. Cause I'm like, dang, like, if I love her, like, and I don't love myself, and we both disabled, what am I saying about like, what am I saying about disability and like all these other things? So she really helped me see it a lot better, and I feel like I would have got there, but I think it would have taken more time because that wasn't my thought process. So
I I must say, I'm sorry to
yeah,
cut you off, sir,
no, please,
but this sounds like me as a light skinned man dealing with a
yeah,
light skinned woman, bro.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That is yes, it is comparable. It is
How?
because light skinned people are a disability, bro.
Wait, hold up.
Bro, wait,
Like,
wait.
yes.
Hold up.
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead, dude.
I was like, I was with it, and I was like, wait, hold up.
Like, you lost me there. He was fully behind you in the
I was like, all right, we got it. We can relate.
Hey, bro, light skin love is just the same. I'm telling you. You project, you ask for project, bro. Nobody gets us
Oh
but
yeah.
us. You hear
Oh yeah,
me?
I do think there is a lot of projection, and that's the thing. Like, for me, I've been able to meet a lot of disabled people too through this journey, and like I said, like, for what I do and everything I've done, I don't want to say it's like rare, but kind of like there's only so many people that are disabled that you see with big platforms, just that people could know. Like, if you ask someone, oh, do you know someone that's disabled that like did such and such, and they're like, I can name like two people, maybe. Like, I always get confused with like the same two people, either the guy for the Wu-Tang show or this guy who's a rapper. And so that always irritated me because I'm like, man, is there nobody else? Like, are we the only three people that like but I think that was my biggest thing because I just wanted to show representation because that's so big. Like, if you have the ability to use your platform and use your voice for other people who can't do that, or don't feel comfortable or whatever the reason is, then I feel like you should. And I can. Like, I'm blessed to be able to do that. So, and for as much as I talk, I had to make content. I talk so much, it only made sense.
Definitely.
How did you and
So,
your wife find each other?
Okay.
How did you find love?
So we we're Facebook friends. And I tell you why. Probably because everybody with our condition adds each other somehow. Like, you don't remember how you added all the, you know what I mean? But it's just like, if you see someone who looks like you, it's like, oh, cool, I'm gonna add this person and then never talk to them, right? But that's just how it goes. And so we were Facebook friends, and she came into my Instagram live with my late mentor. His name was Simon Illa, and we also had the same condition. But she came into the live, and she was like, "Oh, hey, whatever." And I was feeling bold. Like, again, I was not in my confident era. Okay, so I must have had, like, I don't know, some liquid courage or something. I don't know what happened that day. Well, I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna send you my number on Facebook," because I like remember we were Facebook friends, and then I sent her my number. And for some reason or the other, we texted every single day. I mean, she didn't get tired of me, and I was like, "Dang, we good." I said, I got this." And she was living in Missouri at that time, so we were long distance for like a few months. Well, 4 months or so. Don't quote me, but we were long distance. And then I went to go see her in October of 2019, the day after my birthday, the 22nd. And so that was cool for me because I'd never been on a plane by myself, right? So I'm like, man, I must really like enjoy your presence because I am going on a plane by myself. I'd never done this before. You could be crazy. I mean, you may be in a chair, but I don't know. What I mean, I don't know what's going on. You might not even be in a chair. You know what I mean? I don't know what's going to happen. So I'm rolling up in there, and I'm like, oh shoot, there's like the airport, and it's not like I've been to an airport, of course, but just being by myself, it felt like everyone around me was like much bigger than they actually are, and I felt like I was just staring out into the distance, like, hello. But it was easy to find her because we look similar. So I mean, in the church, but yeah, I mean, I was. This was even before the pandemic. So once the pandemic happened in 2020, because I flew to see her twice. So in October and then December up until like New Year's and a few days after that, right? And then I went back home, and then we had planned to like meet up again, but then the pandemic, COVID, like happened, and so that was weird because we were like, man, what are we gonna do? Because there was kind of uncertainty around the whole thing, like flights and airports and all that stuff, and so my parents and we ended up taking a road trip and bringing her down here, and she was supposed to visit, but then she ended up just moving down here, and she's been down here ever since. And that's the story. And yeah, so it's pretty cool when I think about that journey, because, like I said, even for me to be disabled and describe everything I described, like, that is a very like unique situation, because that might not have been possible for someone else, like in my situation, even with the same condition, because it depends on the resources, financial access, support systems, and like all these different things. So there's so many things in place that can disable you outside of the disabilities you actually have, right? So that was definitely like an eye-opener for me, because it really showed me what I'm capable of, first of all, because I can go on a plane by myself and like be all right. And we went first class for the first time. I'd never been in first class. Well, not that I remember. Maybe I was a kid, but I don't remember first class. But I was in first class, and I felt so bougie. I said, "Oh man, like I think that's the word. Yeah, I just felt fancy." I said, "Man, we in first class," But I only got first class real stuff because the flight attendants, or the people that like are working there, they don't know how to pick us up. So I just wanted to create the least amount of distance to put us back in the chairs with no injuries. Because I don't want this woman to be like, man, I'm never traveling with him again. Okay, so that was really a safety thing, less of like, oh, I need to be in first class. So that's it. I hope I answered the question. My like,
No, you answered a whole lot of questions.
I'm sorry.
But no, you get now question. Now let's go to the first time a lot of folks met you.
Okay.
Now during the pandemic,
Yeah.
an ad that you had went viral.
It went viral.
It went viral. This is the first time I saw you, and that's how I'm like, look at this. Now, granted, this is how I remember. This is how I remember. I'm on IG, doing my thing,
Right.
promoting, and I see mini producer,
Yeah.
saying, "Hey, I got this beat pack." It's like I forgot how many
Yo,
beats was it?
it was 62 beats.
62 beats for $20.
I saw
I'm
my
like,
man.
even I said it's like even I
Is this
said, all
real?
right, what's the catch?
What's the catch, right?
62 dang beats for
I know.
$20.
I
What
know.
is the catch?
I know. I know.
But that joint spread like wildfire. I could not
Yeah,
go
well,
nowhere on the
without
internet
seeing me.
without seeing you, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, for one, what made you, firstly, let's start from the beginning. What made
Okay.
you come up with an idea of a sound pack deal such as that?
Oh, because I was struggling financially. Like I was going through it. Okay, so this could have been, this is the real story. Because in the video marketing wise, I mean, I did want to help artists. However, that was not my. I was needing some money, and I said, "Well, we just gonna have to do what it do because like this is what it is." So, funny story. My fiance, she had given me $6 for a pizza, and that's when I told myself, this is probably the time to get your life together because I don't like to ask anyone for anything. First of all, I'd rather starve than ask someone for anything, especially money. Like, oh, that's like, I don't know. It doesn't matter who it is. I just don't like to ask for money. Like, I'm really like to do it myself. But I was just at a point where, for whatever reason, that just wasn't working out. And so my friend, the same one who convinced me to put myself online as far as content, he was like, "Man, I'm doing this funnel thing and you should do it." I said, "I got nothing to lose." I mean, I seriously don't. I have nothing to lose. Like, so he told me how to set it up and I stayed up until 2 in the morning. I said, "Man, I don't think I stayed up until 2 in the morning to do something like that since that moment." So I set it up and I used this software called ManyChat, which is like a Facebook Messenger thing where you can send out broadcast messages to like an audience. And so I sent it out and I made $200 that day. And I said, "Oh boy, okay, we might got something here, right?" So I'm like, "Man, I'm about to run ads." I don't know. I was ready to jump into it, right? So I said, "I'm gonna run ads." So the first ads that I ran that probably no one saw because they were terrible. Like I ran them and they performed horribly. And then I was like, okay, this is not working. So let's try a different strategy. So I recorded that video that you saw, and that was one take. Okay, I had no idea. I was nervous. I had no idea. I was just gonna say whatever I had to say, because I'd never made a video for an ad, as I specified in the video. Like even in my intro, I said I've never made a video for an ad before with my face in it. So wish me luck. And I think because of the authenticity of the ad, especially like on Facebook ads, I don't think people were used to seeing something like that. You know what I mean? Like the ad is typically very like high production or it just feels fake, right? But I was genuinely had no idea what I was doing. I was just making this video hoping for the best. And it was the best. It took off. And that video got 1.3 million views. And for a Facebook ad, that's crazy. And I got to connect with so many artists. My best friend who's my best friend now, he's someone who bought the beat pack. And so a lot of great things came from that. I had Tiffany Evans on a song that I had in that beat pack, Young LA. So things really worked out for me, which is really I'm grateful for it. But that came from a moment of struggle and ended in a place of like, okay, once it got to a certain point, obviously I was like, oh man, let's really, help artists. And I started making more packs and stuff. But it didn't start out that way. Although I do like helping artists, that was just not my I was just trying to figure out like what can I do because I felt like I only had so many kind of options, especially with accessibility. It wasn't like, oh, I can go to a studio and like have someone come. There was just a lot of variables. So I wanted to make an online product, and it just so happened that that was the online product that fell into my lap because of my friends. So
That was
it worked
and
out.
that was dope, and that's like a fire outcome, like that.
Yeah, it really is.
That's a fire, and granted, I think that's when you really found your niche because how you
Yeah,
delivered that video, it made me watch the whole thing all the way through.
and it
I
was a
wanted
two
to,
minute long ad.
and
Man,
I watched all 2 minutes of it.
I was
That's the
on. That's the
thing.
thing. Like, if you ask anybody about like ads, like they tell you the video shouldn't be like longer than a minute. Mine was 2 dang minutes. But it also came with a lot of bullying though, and I think that really got to me. I feel like
Yeah,
it stopped being fun once like you got thousands and thousands and thousands of comments, right? Because it
Yeah.
don't really matter, if it's a few here and there, it's like, all right, you know what I mean? But like there would just be like super hateful comments, not even the natural ones, you know what I mean? Like people would just say really terrible stuff, and so my ad
Yeah.
accounts got shut down because of it.
Mm.
And so that really affected my business financially, and that is the honest reason why I had to start running Facebook ads, because I would have still ran that ad, but because I dealt with like so much bullying, people probably reported that, all these things.
Right.
And so that's the thing that is kind of like a catch-22 with
Right.
being out there, especially in this space, because people aren't used to seeing someone like me do an ad. They probably never saw anyone that looked like me and might not ever see anyone that, as a recent. So that kind of sucked, to be honest, because like I really felt like at a certain point I was really helping artists. Like I had thousands and thousands of artists on my email list, and people were just really mean. Like so that was tough. I feel like that was the toughest part. Like it was cool that it was successful, but there was also just a lot of like really bad energy with that. So at a certain point, I was glad that I stopped that pack like pushing it so hard, because it just became a lot mentally, because like people can tell
Yeah.
you to ignore stuff, but once you have a viral video and you gotta like manage all that stuff, people are emailing you and like all these other things, it kind of messes with you. So but my
Yeah.
my ad accounts got shut down, so that's why it stopped. I probably would have kept going and just found another way to moderate the comments and stuff like that, but
I can
that was the
actually hear
time,
it.
man. That was the time.
Definitely, man. That's great. And luckily in that space you
Yeah,
developed a target audience, because granted
yeah,
you cater to the independents, you cater to the
yeah,
underground,
and that was
and I,
great, man.
it is, and it's dope
Yeah,
because because every now and then, because well, not every now and then, I actually frequently actually visit your site to see
yeah,
what you got going on,
yeah,
because I'm trying to see what I can pick out and all that.
yeah,
But I see you got a whole lot of you stay having a whole lot of deals for independent artists. You say you
yeah,
had I remember the last time I went on, you had like a deal like, hey, you can finish your EP today if you get 3 beats here
yeah,
for this deal.
yeah,
I'm like, that's pretty dang dope, because you're really giving like an alley oop to a lot of
yeah,
independent artists, who can have industry quality beats, at
yeah,
a very, very good rate with a
right,
good license to them and
yeah.
all that stuff. And that's very, very dope. And that's very dope, I think.
Uh, I appreciate that, man. I really think that just comes from my understanding of what it feels like to not have accessibility in certain spaces. So, like, I know whether an artist says it or not, a lot of artists are not financially set enough to support their career in the way that they want, right? And so I know what that feels like. So I know that like people could look at my price and say, "Oh, you should up it and charge people, $1,000 or whatever." But I know like the real, like I've had conversations with people, like I get to know people on a human level. So I hear people's stories all the time, and I know that like a lot of stuff is very smoke and mirrors for social media, but like in the background they're really going through it. And so I guess just because I understand of like I've been there in that space, and I just wanted people to still have quality, because I feel like it's a very underserved community. Or people that don't have the financial resources are very, just underserved community, looked down upon. There's a lot of perceptions about people that don't have money, and a lot of companies and people and individuals, brands want to cater to people that do have money, right? Based off of their perception of how a person's gonna be. But like I've met people that have paid me, a couple $1,000 that are, you know, maybe not that great or whatever. Not anybody I'm working with. I'm just saying it's more hypothetical. But like there's people that have paid me money and they're just a hassle, and some people that pay me $20 or $10 and they're the greatest people. Like I can have a conversation all day. And so I really learned like money's got nothing to do with your character. Like if you're a trash person, you're just gonna be trash. Okay. Like that's just what it's gonna be. And so I just never wanted to align myself with the ideology that someone's worth was aligned with how much they paid me and how I treated them. because I treat everybody the same. Like if you pay me $10 or you pay me 1,000, I really don't care. If you have bad energy, I don't care. If you say, "Yo, I'm gonna give you 10,000 today," and you're horrible, I please keep your money. Like I don't need your money. I don't need that energy. So that's that's my biggest thing. I really like making stuff accessible as possible because I feel like supporting those people goes a long way because they supported me too. So that's really where it comes from.
I have a question about that.
Yeah,
How do you deal with artists that are like off the chain?
off the chain.
Like, yeah, like that's an
Yeah.
old saying, man. I
No,
keep
I
forgetting you
get you. I know what you're
27,
saying.
man.
I know what you're
But
saying.
like, yeah,
Like, how do I deal with it? I don't. I like, and that's the great thing. I come to a place I used to, and not argue with you. I just would try to make it right, right? Like, cause I feel like I'm trying to be a nice person. Like, oh, let's try to come to an agreement. And then some people I realize you cannot come to agreements with. They're just like that, And I said, oh, the block button is my best friend. I just be blocked. Hey, listen, you want to argue with yourself? You can do it. I don't have the energy. I got too much stuff going on. And so I had to come to that place because like you just said, when people are off the chain, because people talking wild, you like, hold up, wait a second. You know what I mean? Like, I gotta back up. But there is that moment where you just say, you know what, I don't have time for this. Like, you want to be mad and upset, you're probably not mad at me. You're probably mad at something else. Your life is probably going awry, and you don't know what to do, and this is the only outlet. And I always laugh, like, if you arguing with a 3'4" person in a wheelchair, that is a bad day for you. Like, you got bigger problems because, like, I am not a threat. You know what I
Not
mean?
for
Like,
real
real.
talk, real
Big
goddamn talk.
facts,
I'm like,
man.
damn.
Facts.
Like,
Oh, I got the gat underneath the wheels.
you're right.
Don't get it
Super
twisted.
facts.
I got the secret. You know what I mean? On both sides.
But
Like, but
so many producers.
yeah,
Who are your top three producers, not including yourself?
top three producers. Okay, Wonder Girl. Dang. That's really my and I'll tell you why. Because I don't really have three, and I know it's gonna sound
Mm,
wild, but I really was influenced by Wonder Girl's production because if you listen to my beats, a lot of my beats are influenced by the drums, and she was the first person that I had heard that had such like a unique drum style, and she was already so young. You know what I mean? At that time, producing for Jay-Z and The Crown and stuff like that. So she's actually always been my main inspiration as far as
that's
production
dope.
because it influenced a lot of my sound. So I don't really have any other people. Like, I like people, but I wouldn't put them in my top three because it didn't influence my personal sound. I just like them as individuals. You know what I mean? So, like, Timberland, I swear we're like internet besties. No, I'm just kidding, we're not. But right now. But we follow each other, okay? And he posted me on his page, so we're cool, and,
Dope.
and you know what I mean. So he knows
Yeah.
who I am.
That's actually
But
my favorite producer.
right, okay. So Timberland
Yeah.
and me, we cool. I'll put in a good word for you now. On a on on a real note, though, as far as like top, I would say I really was influenced by Wonder Girl, and I have to give her flowers because
Dope.
that really shaped like how I produce even now. So I gotta give her the credit. But I like other producers, just not in my top three. No hate to them; they're great. So that's that.
So so just let's say this. What is the main thing when it's all said and done that you want many producer to be remembered for?
Oh man, oh that's a good one. Uh, I just want to be remembered for leaving people like better than they came, right? Like, I want people to like go away looking at my content being like, man, like, I can really do whatever I want to do. I mean, long as it's not illegal, like crazy. Please don't contribute my content to you doing something wild, because I'm not going to court for you. Okay. I'm talking about, good things and stuff like that. And I just want people to like go away and just being themselves. Cause I think a lot of people are not themselves. Like, and with me, having a physical disability, but also being autistic. Like, I'm naturally myself because that's just me and my autism. But I think people struggle sometimes with being themselves. Like, I don't even think sometimes people know who they are, right? So I really want people to just go away with my content and know that like it's okay to be you. And you're gonna find people who support you. and that's just what's gonna matter. And I'm just glad for the impact I can have as just one individual. You know what I mean? And so yeah, I hope that's what people remember and go away with.
Did you ever think?
Yeah.
Did you ever imagine that you would be working with some of the base and the best uh uh tastemakers
Oh
like
man.
you are now?
Ah,
I've looked at a lot of your content on YouTube, bro, and you work
yo,
with some of the dopest artists, bro. I mean,
yo.
dopest producers, excuse me, and artists on top of
I
that.
I would not have thought that. I didn't even think I was gonna do producing like that. Like, I just thought it was cool, but I didn't think it was something you could do like for me, like not someone else. Like I thought that was like other people. You know what I mean? Like they do that. They produce hit songs or whatever. So that yeah, is really cool because like I know Tricky Stewart, which is super dope to say. I went to his event back in December and I was invited to go for the recording academy and stuff like that. And so that was really cool because it brought to the forefront, like, man, I'm really in these spaces. So I just am, I show a lot of gratitude. Like, I know that I feel like sometimes my content, maybe to some people, feels like, oh, this guy's, how can he be that grateful? But I am because I know I'm in such a unique position. Like, I take every chance to just be grateful for it. So yeah, I really am sometimes surprised that I've been able to work with the artists and producers that I work with. However, I'm grateful. You know what I mean? So
As Chuck Taylor, he said, "When did you realize your disability wasn't going to hold you back from being a producer?"
ooh, um when I found out I was actually pretty good, I said, man, I might be all right, because I would put out my beats on SoundCloud and anywhere that you could hear beats. And the first time I sold a beat was on Bandcamp. And that's the only beat I've sold on Bandcamp for $20. And I said, wow, someone paid me for this, and so that was more so a moment of like, obviously people couldn't see what I looked like at that time, but even when people did start to see what I look like, it didn't change anything. Like people still like my beats. And I was like, dang, I guess, I may have to adapt. Like I'm gonna have to adapt and do some things differently. And I have had to kind of fight for people to take me more serious than maybe my able-bodied peers. However, I feel like that adds to like my story, and my journey. And it just helps kind of create this blueprint for someone else who maybe wants to do the same thing that I do that's in a similar situation. So yeah, just realizing that my disability wasn't gonna hold me back unless I held my own self back. So I realized like I was the person that was gonna hold me back and like not other people's perception. So I guess I just got good and kept going.
How for the young producers coming
Yeah.
up, and even for an old producer like me,
All right. All right.
you had touched on something earlier. You were like, okay, there's a difference between commercials, ads. There's a
Yeah.
difference between hip hop, R&B, things like that, right?
Yeah.
How many hours should you work at melody
Ooh.
or drum beats?
Oh man, I mean, you just need to be working at it. I'm like I've gotten better, but I'm pretty obsessed with what I do. Like in every capacity, right? Like I just want to be the best for me. Like not even the best in comparison to someone else, just for myself, right? So I really feel like there's that like competing with yourself. Like, man, how good can I get? Like, what else can I do? How can I get better at this? And that's part of the excitement. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I feel like you should get excited when you do this. Like music, whether you're doing it part time or full time or, some of the time, whatever you're doing, like, I just think this is such a fun, like, career path or, like, avenue to go down that I can't imagine not wanting to, like, learn and do different stuff. Like, I just can't even conceptualize that because I love melodies. I love different sounds. I love testing different structures and drum beats and all these other things and listening to different beats from back in the day for my age, you know what I mean, because I'm a 90s baby, so back in the day is subjective, but I really enjoy that. So I really think the biggest thing is you have to enjoy this to really take the approach of like wanting to learn, because if you kind of just half step it, you're gonna get half step results. So I feel like it's good to absorb yourself with that. Even if you're not the best at melodies, maybe you collaborate with someone else who is. Like that's what I like doing. I'm much better at drums than melodies. I mean, I took piano lessons as a kid. However, that did not, make me out here to be Beethoven or anything like that. However, I collaborate with other people who are better than me, and that's subjective as well, but who I think are better than me, and that's also helped me learn. So, like, also being open to working with other people, as well can help you. But I think you should spend as much time as you can to, like, if you really want to get great at this, like, in my
Church,
opinion.
church. I digress, old man. Hey, you sound
Hey,
like me, man. You sound like you in your
hey,
40s, man. You
hey,
are
I
wise beyond your
might.
years, bro.
Hey, I think disability sometimes ages you, man. I think, well, for mine, I think like because you deal with so many like different experiences as a disabled person, you kind of grow up really quickly. So like, I hung out with kids my age, but like not that much. Like I hung out around a lot of adults. So I think naturally, I just learned to like socialize with more adult conversations and things like that, which has contributed to like how I am now, which in some ways is helpful, and then other ways you do feel kind of out of place because you don't sometimes know how to like carry on conversations with people around your age, especially when I was in like college. I just felt so weird, like I wanted to talk with my professors instead of hanging out with people because that's all I knew. So I believe that's why I talk the way I do, and I deal with people better that are older than me. So
When are you coming? When you coming to the DMV so we can get you drunk, bro?
hey man, listen. Uh Shoot. I don't even know when I can travel over there. You know what I'm saying? Because I really like juice. I'm not gonna lie to you. I even got this Kool-Aid jammer. This is my second one. So I
I
really
love Kool-Aid jammers.
yo, stop playing with me, okay?
No, bro, no, bro. You gotta hear
Listen,
my theory. You gotta hear my fucking theory on
tell
this
me,
one.
tell me, tell me, tell me.
Okay, so Kool-Aid jammers are the Gatorade of motherfuckers, bro. I'm sorry to
No,
cut you off.
no, you're not lying. You're not lying. This is so. You're not lying. I told you, I already drank one before I got to this interview. Do you understand? Like, I got a whole 40 pack of these, and we're already down. And it's me drinking them. I love these things. I don't think it's a real problem.
Bruh.
It's a real problem. Like,
We gonna fuck them up. When you come
yeah,
over here, we gonna fuck them
we
up,
gonna
bro.
throw
We
these
gonna fuck
back.
them up. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I love it.
Man, I'm telling you. Well, shoot. Well, if you are in the DMV, you better
Yeah.
hit me up because you coming to the studio, bro. We gotta cook up.
We got you, man. We gotta cook up in person. I know you and
Facts.
I were supposed to cook together. I just have a really hard time with sending beats to people now because I like the in person experience. I
So
like,
do
you
I.
know what I mean? Like, I like
I
being able
do.
to collaborate, and I just feel like it feels impersonal when you're emailing people beats because it's just I don't know. I don't like it as much. So, we gotta coordinate something. Even if we do a Zoom
We
call, we could do
oh yeah,
something.
bruh, that's easy. You ain't say nothing but a word. I
We'll get
got
it.
you. I
We'll
got you.
get it.
Yeah, but I'm gonna tell you this all in all, man, because whether you realize it or not, you're not just an inspiration to other folks with disabilities. You're an inspiration to all people. Because, like I said,
Thank you.
you inspire me. When I hear you talk with your confidence and your conviction, it does something to me. So, and
Thank
I'm
you.
sure I'm not the only one who feels that way. So just keep in mind when you talk, all people of all kinds will listen to you. You get
Thank
what I
you, man.
mean?
Thank you.
Hey,
That
Definitely.
means a
hey,
lot.
look, I've been
This was
quiet.
fun.
I've been quiet this whole time, and this is like the first interview where I really sat back and just really listened, enjoyed. Like, I love your energy, my guy. Like, you
Thank
really
you.
turned me into just an audience member. Like, I'm just sitting here and all, like, like the way you push through, like you're really inspirational. Now, I got one question for you.
All
I know
right.
you work with producers, but how
Okay.
does it feel to work with the major companies? Because the major companies
Uh,
budgets,
man.
that money's there. You feel
Yeah.
me?
When I tell you, I love me some companies. I mean, I love artists. Don't get me wrong. But the stress that is not there by working with companies, it is so beautiful sometimes because like artists are human beings, of course. So like they have their own things, which is fine. Whatever. That's how I was built. Like I started working with independent artists. However, being able to expand with working with different companies as far as content creation, because I tell people it's very important to have multiple streams. Okay, so I'm not worried about if someone is buying my beats or not, in particular because I'm probably doing a paid collaboration with a company that is paying more than what you're probably gonna buy from my beats, which is fine. And like it's not a knock. Like, and that's been a really great place to be. Is having less stress because I think there can be a little bit stress because it's kind of up and down sometimes working with artists just because finances can change and that's just on anybody, right? So you know taking away the pressure, which is why quick, you probably that's why you don't see me talk about artists or anything. I don't make content like when they get paid next Friday because I'm not even in that same headspace. Like I'm like, oh, I'm getting paid regardless, you know what I mean? Like so it's just it's less of a like bragging thing, more just like a stability thing, and that's something I really appreciate for myself is that I built that like stability in to be able to like do something if this other side of things for whatever reason, the economy or whatever, like because the businesses are gonna have money unless they just all plummet to the ground, but that's less likely. So it's great. I just want to say it's great if you can get into it. It's a good avenue to also explore.
Shouts out to that company money. Real
Yeah,
talk.
shout out to the company. Hey, y'all can come to me again. Okay, I'm here.
so so on the producer side, like, because
Yeah.
granted, you dropped a few gems there. Like, what is the most to important advice on the business side that you can drop on other producers looking to expand themselves?
Mm, I would say be human because I notice a lot of producers, again, it goes back to just people in general, try to create this facade of like who they are and they're not that person, right? And people can feel that. So if you are just yourself in business, like to some people I may seem very high on sugar, right? And it probably is because I'm drinking Kool-Aids, as y'all saw, 2 packs before an interview. So obviously I have a lot of energy. And to some people that's exciting and other people it's not. But at the same time I'm still myself through and through. And I would say for producers, like being yourself is gonna go a long way, right? Because if especially when I work with artists, like if you treat artists like human beings, because they are, that goes a long way than the person that's like, hey, bruh, I got some beats, and if you click this link, I gotta buy one, get 14 free, and I'll get you some KFC on the way back. Like, we don't have to do all that. You can just be a human being and say, hey, man, I like your music. And if they say, oh, man, I see you got beats, oh, yeah, bro. That's how the conversation flows, but like, don't be desperate because you have value. And that would be my biggest thing in business because, like, know that you have value and carry yourself as such because that will help you in a lot of areas. If you carry yourself like, hey, I'm good either way, it's cool, right? If you carry yourself like, yo, if you don't buy this beat from me today, I'm not gonna be able to pay rent. Even if that's the case. Now, mind you, I said I had to get $6 for a pizza, but I did not carry myself like if people didn't buy that beat pack, all was lost. You know what I said? It was just you just have to be yourself. You have to be kind to people and just conduct yourself as an actual business person because I think sometimes producers don't see themselves as business people. They just see themselves as creatives and there has to be a balance because people will screw you over if they can and if they know that you are in a vulnerable mindset, they will use you if they can. It's just the way of how people can be and how they're wired. So you got to be smart. You got to be educated. You got to educate yourself on, the latest business practices and things to know. And also stop blaming artists. Man, I'm tired of y'all making some content roasting artists about next Friday because some of y'all getting paid the same Friday that y'all talk about other artists getting paid. So I just
Right.
I just need people to, okay, I'm just saying. I just never understood that one. Cause from statistics, a lot of people have a 9 to 5. So I don't know where all these influx of full-time producers are that just got a lot to say. So just stop with that. Just be cool. Like I just want to get along. I know I sound like an after-school special, but I would just say that, like, just be cool. There's no need to be ugly, really. There's already ugliness in the world. Don't contribute to it. So, and
That's
I think
right.
that goes for business too.
Definitely, man. That was real. And yo, a lot of folks in these comments are showing hella love though, by the way.
I appreciate it. I really do. Thank
Yes,
you.
indeed. Yes, indeed. Well, firstly, mini producer, I
Yes.
thank you so much for coming on the show with us, chopping it up, man. We appreciate you. It was definitely an honor to, for you to pour into your journey, man. You sharing so much with us. So first and foremost, tell our audience where they can find you, maybe where they can find your beats, where can they keep up and tap in with you, bro?
Of course. So you can find me at Mini Producer, and that's everywhere. That's MiniProducer. And my website is miniproducer.com, where I sell my beats. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to being able to work with new individuals and things like that. And just to put this out there, I feel like I got to say this on every interview. Me and DMs, it's better to email me because a lot of people message me on various platforms, and I don't like to conduct business in DMs typically. Just not my style. I like to do emails. So if you want to talk to me about business, please be prepared. And because if it looks like you're not about business, then you're just gonna be sitting there. So
Uh-huh.
Hey,
I just gotta keep it
what?
real.
Come on, say it again for the folks in the back, please. Say that
It,
part one more time.
if you're not about business, you're just gonna be sitting there because I'm not
Oh no,
gonna.
then hey, look, I'm xed out
Talk
because
to
I was gonna get your email so I can ship you some Kool-Aid jammers, bro.
No, you can ship me Kool-Aid jammers, but it's only if. It's only if it's you. Okay. Now, if you hit me up, I'll accept it. All right. I
I'm the
will take
only
it.
GIMO.
Hey,
You better
I
pay
saw you
attention.
on my YouTube because you said you were
My
representing
man.
it. I appreciate you. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
man.
we can. I'll take the Kool-Aid jammers. It's really, people.
He
Like
gonna
I don't
take
mind.
the Kool-Aid.
Yeah,
Oh, hold on. Now
yeah.
that you said that, yo, Kool-Aid Jammers, if you stumble across this,
Come
this
on
the
now.
last free promotion you're getting from Mini Producer.
It's the
Y'all
last
better cut
time.
that dang check next time.
Next
Cut him a
time,
check.
Hey,
right?
look. So I just had an idea.
Yeah.
So tonight we're gonna go, or sometime this weekend we'll get together. We're gonna hit you up. It's about time for us to change the music to the no filter intro. So we might as well just go ahead and get that Mini Producer.
Let's get
You
it.
dig what I'm saying? Later,
You
and
know,
he
Let's
down for.
get it.
hey, let's get it. Hey, let's
He's
get
trying
it.
to cook.
I'm
Let's
Let's
ready,
get
man.
it.
Stop playing with me. I will
let's
And,
get
hit
it.
you
and, yo, and
instantly.
even though we already got a rapport, I'm gonna follow directions and send you an email to schedule that dang Zoom.
Yo, please.
This shows that I follow directions.
Yeah, because I sometimes have to separate it because I know people DM me and I get that's just how people are used to conducting business. It just becomes a lot as your social media grows to like try to handle every single platform. So I just know if someone emails me, typically that means that like you really about whatever you got to talk about. So that's my hope. That's I feel like that's why I be telling people, please email me because I might not see your DM and you just think I hate you and I don't. I just didn't see it. So I just like to put that disclaimer out there. And yeah, so
That's
and
why I put my directions right in my bio. Like, hit
right.
me up at this email if you
Hit me.
want to talk.
It says inquiries now. Listen, I don't know.
Inquiry.
Maybe
Back.
so that's where it's at. And my last thing is if you want to buy beats from me, you don't have to hit me up to add, like if you know the website, just go to the website and buy. That's how you buy the beats. Unless you're getting
Back.
customs. Where we don't have to have a pre-conversation because you can filter everything. You can do everything. You can filter the genre, the mood. But if you have specific questions, obviously you can ask me. I'm just putting it out there. Yeah, you can just get the beats. You don't have to do anything special. You don't have to go through me. You just get whatever you feel. Have fun with it. But if
Hey,
you need me, I'm here.
hey, matter of fact, give out the email right now because there's some artists in this chat right now. So if y'all want to work with Mini Producer here for some custom ish, where can they hit you?
Okay, so I got Mini at miniproducer.com because I got that official email, right?
All right, brag about it. There it
But
is.
now, mind you, though, you're gonna email Mini at miniproducer.com. However, I'm gonna reply from my support email because I set up a setting back when I was running ads, and I don't know what I did. I have it where those emails forward to that email address, and I don't know how
Bro,
to undo it. You see what I'm
bro,
saying? How do I do it?
bro.
Do you understand?
Hey, hold up now, hold up now, hold up
Wait,
now,
wait,
hold
wait.
up. Hold up
Wait,
now. How you that forgetful?
yo, listen, it happened 3 years ago. So I did it in 2020 when I was getting all those emails. I had
Oh,
it forwarded.
pandemic. Oh.
Yeah, like I had it forwarded to my support email because at the time I was doing the pack, so I had like an actual support email. But because I did that, every time someone emails me from mini@miniproducer.com, it goes to the support address, and I'm trying to figure out how to work it. So one day you're just randomly gonna get a mini@miniproducer.com email, but please email that one because it's just shorter and easy to remember. But you're gonna get something back from support, but it's still me. I just want to let y'all know because I just started.
Well, dang, man! If we had that much of a time frame in the show, we talk to you all dang night because
No, this is great, man. I
like
appreciate
real
it.
talk, man. We're gonna definitely have to have you back. We got to spin the block on this one.
Let's do
Real
it.
talk.
Let's do it,
Yes,
and
sir.
let's do that intro. I'm ready.
I got you, bro. I'm gonna have
Yes,
one
sir.
recorded for you. We can just
Let's
play
get
it.
Let's get it. Let's
Yes,
get it.
sir. Well, y'all, everybody, shouts out to Mini Producer.
Aye.
Thank you,
Yes,
everybody.
sir.
Thank you so
Much
much
love,
for
my bro.
coming.
Much love.
Much
Thank you,
love, bro.
everybody.